Hello and welcome back to the Takeout. I'm JD. This is my main man, Mo. We are in the midst of the slowest part of the NFL calendar. There is nothing happening in the NFL. All the cool stuff is happening in the NBA. But we're here to spice up this very dry part of the NFL offseason. We are here with our 2025 NFL predictions. Mo, what are we starting with?
The NFC East. We're going to do each record for every team.
Oh.
And then playoffs. And then we'll do like awards and stuff like that in a separate video.
Oh, okay. I was like, I am not ready to do awards tonight. Separate video for the awards? Nice teaser. I like it. Okay, so we're starting with the NFC East. Moses, who is your number one?
No, we're doing 4 to start. 4 and then...
Oh, we're counting backwards. I like it. Great content. Okay, who is your fourth?
The New York Football Giants.
The Football Giants. I love it. And why are they?
And I think the record is they go 2-15. Their schedule is very hard.
Yeah.
And that offense is very bad. So it's kind of just bad for the Giants. Bad luck.
Yeah, it really is. How in the world did the Giants have the toughest strength of schedule when they're so bad? That's just going to compound things. I agree with you. 3-14 for the Giants for me. Also my number 14. Mo, your number 3 team in the NFC East.
I've got the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Okay, talk to me about Dallas.
This division, it's hard to predict.
Yeah.
The Commanders, Eagles, and Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Cowboys at 3 because they don't have a running back. Their starting running back currently is Javonte Williams.
It's not very good.
And he didn't do anything on the Broncos.
Right.
So, and then Dak's just coming off. He missed like more than half of the season.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's why I think the Cowboys go 9-8.
Cowboys 9-8. That's not bad. 9-8 is pretty good. Okay, next up, I have as my number 3 seed in the NFC East the Washington Commandos. Yeah, that's right. Moses and I didn't give any sneak previews, so as you can see, real-time reaction, he disagrees. I think Washington had a magic season last year, magic year, and I also think that magic doesn't carry over season to season. Sophomore slumps are real, oftentimes for QBs. I'm not really impressed with their off-season moves. I think their defensive line stinks. Yeah, so Washington 9-8. Moses, who you got?
My number 2 seed, I have the Eagles because the only reason I think this is I think the Eagles are very good. I think Saquon is gonna get hurt and have like a McCaffrey type season.
Ooh.
And then they lost like Josh Sweat and a lot of defensive pieces.
Yeah.
So that like brings them down too. So I have them going 11-6.
11-6. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah.
At first, I was very hurt by your take, but 11-6 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're going to make the playoffs in your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, I have the Dallas Cowboys. A little bit of a surprise here. I've got them at 10 wins, 10-7. Dak Prescott, when he plays 16 games or in a season, they've won 10 or more, double-digit wins, 4 out of those 6 seasons. I think they're going to pass like crazy with CeeDee Lamb and Mr. Pickens. I think their defense is better than we think, better than they probably get credit for. Their new defense coordinator, Eberflus, bad head coach, but good defensive coordinator, so I like that. I think their head coach hire was really kind of sus, as they say. However, I got Dallas for 10 wins and the second best team in the NFC East. Mo, I think I know who you're going with. This is your number 1.
Washington Commanders.
Washington Commanders. All right.
I think sophomore seasons do happen.
Yeah. Slump, you mean? Yeah.
Jaden Daniels had an insane season last year.
Yeah.
I think it will go down a bit, but not like so much.
Okay.
And then like the one weakness is the running backs. I think I like the Debo move. I don't know if Debo's still Debo,
Yeah.
but they also got better O-line. They added Laramie Tunsil, so
Yeah.
I mean,
You liking him? What do you
Yeah.
got for the record?
11-6 and ties with the Eagles.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think they're gonna have the tiebreaker.
The top seed. I like it. Okay, that's interesting.
And then I'm doing that again because the NFC East once every year the one seed in that division changes.
I forgot about that. That's right. There hasn't been a repeat champion in the NFC East for like 22 years or something. Oh my gosh. Well, now I feel bad about my number one pick. Quick question about Washington before we go back. That's a great point. Have you heard rumors about Debo being a little chubby? No? Okay, well.
He's still fast.
Feeling pretty sheepish about this pick because the Eagles, in my predictions, are repeating as the NFC East champions. The things that I worry about with the Eagles a little bit is that they lost their offensive coordinator, who was really good. They lost 7 starters from their Super Bowl team on D, and that's insane. And that's just hard to replace that. They have the third hardest strength of schedule. I'm kind of already talking myself out of the Eagles as I talk through this, but they are still loaded on offense, just loaded, offensive line, skill position players. So I've got the Eagles 11-6, first in the NFC East. Next division.
The NFC North and the 4th seed, like all these teams are very good. And the 4th seed, like it's kind of hard to predict, but I have the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay, that's really interesting.
And the only reason I do that is because I don't like that they don't know who a wide receiver 1 is, even though they drafted Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
Like that's tough when it's like 3 very mid wide receivers, 4 actually now, with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jen Reed, and Matthew Golden. You don't know who the wide receiver 1 is.
Interesting.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
So I think they go 8-9.
Ooh!
Because the division is so stacked.
That is a spicy meatball. I have the Bears as my 4th seed. They're obviously going to be better with a seemingly competent coach. I love that they loaded up on offensive linemen. But I still need to see it from Caleb Williams. So I've got them as my 4. I agree with Moses. This is the toughest division, I think, in NFL.
My 3 seed is the Bears.
Okay.
And they're going 9-8, I think.
Ooh!
It all depends on Caleb.
Okay.
Like, everything. I don't think the Bears make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But everything depends on if Caleb can step through. Like, the roster's built for him. They went out and got a line, so.
Yeah. I like it. Okay. My number 3 is the Detroit Lions. This was a hard one for me. Once again, I don't think Moses agrees. But they lost both of their coordinators. I think I'm a little gun shy about that. They have the 3rd hardest strength of schedule. They have been just playing on tons of emotion the last couple years. I do have them at 9-8.
Do you think they make the playoffs?
Well, we'll have a big reveal about that in just a little bit now. And they play a lot more games outside this year, which doesn't play to their strength. Detroit is my 3. I think they drop off.
My 2 seed is the Minnesota Vikings. And I'm a big fan of J.J. McCarthy. I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And I think the Vikings go 10-7 because the roster's already built for him. He could just step in and throw to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And they have Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason in the backfield. And they had Jonathan Allen on the defensive line. So I like that move.
Heck yeah, and Javon Hargrave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the Packers as my number 2 team, mainly for continuity, and they're just really well coached. Moses, your number 1.
Record?
Oh, excuse me, 10-7.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 1 is the Detroit Lions.
Uh-huh.
Even though they lost both of their coordinators, the one reason,
Yeah.
a lot of the reason that they lost to the Commanders in the
Yeah.
first round last year is the injuries on defense.
It was brutal.
And I think this defense will be way better with all their guys back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Jared Goff will keep it up with Amon-Ra and J-Mo.
Yeah.
And then Sonic and Knuckles in the backfield.
I forgot about that. Good memory. Yes, Sonic and Knuckles. Okay, I love it. Very compelling case you make for the Lions. My number one seed in the NFC
and they
North.
go 12-5.
Ooh, nice. My number one seed in the NFC North is the Minnesota Vikings. This team is loaded, and they beefed up both of their offensive and defensive lines, and I love that they did that. They do have the fifth hardest strength of schedule, so that gave me a little bit of pause, but I mean, everybody in the NFC North has a tough schedule because they're playing each other. But they could start a 5-0. They have a pretty weak start to their schedule this year. So it's really all about JJ, and my man Moses here has me convinced that JJ is the real deal. The coaching is great. I've got the Minnesota Vikings at 11-6. What's our next division?
The NFC South.
The NFC South.
And the 4th seed, me and him, I'm guessing we both agree, we've talked about this. The New Orleans Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in football.
And why is that?
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Everybody is not good. Chris Olave has like 4 concussions in his career.
Yeah.
Like, the defense is old. I don't think they have the number 1 pick, though. I think they go 3-14.
Yeah.
The Giants will have the number 1 pick, but I still think they'll get Arch Manning next year.
We'll see. I kind of agree that the Giants are going to be the worst team. For my number 4 seed, I have the Carolina Panthers. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Bryce Young. He had a little bounce last year, but I just don't think that they have very much juice. And I'll just go ahead and let you know why I have the Saints number 3 ahead of them. I think both of these teams are going to be bad. The Saints, their QB situation is terrible, but I think their roster is a little bit spicy. They've got guys all up and down the roster. I feel bad about this pick, just talking about it out loud, that they would finish ahead of Carolina, but I'm going to stick with it. They have the 3rd easiest strength of schedule. Third easiest schedule.
What record are each of these going?
Going with and a new coach, some new juice for the Saints. I've got Carolina 5-12 and the Saints 5-12. Saints win the 3rd best team as tiebreaker. Moses, number 2.
My 3 seed is the Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Panthers.
Okay. Yeah.
6-11, I think.
Yeah.
I think Bryce Young can be good and lead his team to the playoffs. Just like in the next 3 years. They don't have a superstar or like an X factor on that team, so
that's a great point. They really don't. Okay, your number 2 seed in the NFC
South, Falcons.
Falcons, yes.
And I have them going 7-10.
Same here.
Because Penix, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
But he's throwing to Drake and Darnold Mooney. I said at the beginning of the last year that Darnold Mooney is a stud.
He did say that.
And he had 900 yards, so that was a pretty good take by me.
I agree.
And then
that was a good
the
take.
Defense, though, the one problem is the defense. It was so bad. I was so high at the Atlanta Falcons last year.
Yeah. You weren't alone.
And then they didn't prove it with Kirk Cousins.
No.
7-10.
That's what I have them down for, too. They do have the 4th easiest strength of schedule, so maybe that's good. I have noted that they have a good offense and a bad defense. Oh, your number 1, our number 1 team in the South.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm
pretty high on this team.
Yeah.
Because I like the draft they did. I think they did very good in the draft. One thing I like about it is Desmond Watson out of Florida.
Yeah, why do you like that?
That man is 469 pounds with like a 385-pounder Vita Vea. So I think that defensive line, you can't run up the middle.
No. How'd you like to block those guys?
I don't want to.
Well, they're an interesting team. I also have them as the number 1
Oh,
seed.
and I have them go 12-5.
Okay, I have them 11-6. I really like their offensive line. They made the playoffs the last 2 years. I made a really bad dark horse MVP pick last year. You agree? Who was that again?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah, that was a bad pick for a dark horse MVP. But I'm gonna go back to the well and make another dark horse MVP for this year. Baker Mayfield.
I like that. That's fine.
Thanks. That makes me feel good. Okay, NFC South is done. I believe we are into the NFC West. Mo, your 4th team in the West.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Uh-huh.
I think this is a pretty good division, and I'm high on the Cardinals, so that's why I have the Seahawks this low.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, I mean, he did not do well in the last 2 weeks. So,
Doesn't do well under pressure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have JSN and Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp's washed.
Yeah.
And like a not great defense, like a mid defense, so I have them going 8-9.
8-9. Okay. My number 4 team is the Arizona Cardinals. And, you and I have talked. We thought the Cardinals were a team on the rise. I had thought that too, and then I was looking at their schedule, and I think they're going to get off to a hot start, like maybe go 5-2, and then crash and burn towards the end of the season. And it might be Kyler's last in Arizona. And I'm not just saying that because he burned me on my dark horse MVP pick last year. I think that their offensive coordinator might be adult. You couldn't figure out how to scheme Marvin Harrison free last year. Kept him on one side of the field the whole time. No, come on, man. So I got the Cards 7-10, 4th seed. Mo, your 3rd seed in the West.
I have the Cardinals.
Ah,
And the one thing, I don't think they make the playoffs. They're going 9-8.
9-8.
Like, so the thing is, there's 2 things that would help them. I like that they added more defense, but Kyler has to get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball.
Yeah.
Way more. And keep it up with Trey McBride,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
But, like, get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball.
I have Seattle. I don't know, man. I just kind of a little bit meh for them. I'm not sure about JSN as a number 1 receiver. Darnold's a nice story, but is he middle of the pack as far as QBs go? I think so. Mo, you're number 2.
Niners.
Same.
They have a very easy schedule.
Easiest strength
They
of schedule
lost
is what everybody's saying.
Funga.
Yeah.
They lost Dre Greenlaw. They lost guys on defense, and Christian McCaffrey's coming off like his injuries.
Yeah. Getting
So
old.
that's tough. Brandon Ayuk's coming off his injuries.
Yeah.
They lost Debo too.
So why do you have him second?
Because,
you got anything good you can say?
Because 9-8 and it's an easy schedule.
Ah, okay, gotcha. I have them as the number 2 seed out there as well. Easiest strength of schedule is the main reason why, and that they're a well-coached team. Okay, Mo, I think we both have the same number 1 in the NFC West.
The LA Rams. I like their team just in general.
Yeah.
And they added Devontae Adams. So.
Yeah, I have the Rams at 13-4.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right. They're a well-coached team. Last year, they took the Eagles, the Super Bowl champion Eagles, who stomped the Chiefs. Shout out Oma and Auntie. The Rams played the Eagles the toughest in the playoffs. Eagles had to come up with a big sack with your man Jalen Carter, with like a minute and a half left or something like that, to preserve the win. They added Devontae. They added a couple nice defensive pieces. I am high in the Rams this year, 13-4.
I have them go 10-7.
10-7. Okay, so we ready to do our playoffs?
For the NFC, sure.
Yeah, who's your number 1 seed?
My number 1 seed for the NFC is the Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions. Okay, interesting. Your number 2 seed?
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes. Number 3? Oh, my number 1 seed is the Rams. 2, I also have the Bucks. 3, Commanders. I have the Eagles. 4,
Rams.
I have the Vikings.
Okay.
5,
Eagles.
Niners for me. 6,
Vikings.
Packers for me. 7,
49ers.
Dallas Cowboys for me. All right, Mo, wild card round.
Bucks versus Niners.
Yeah,
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning.
nice.
Pretty decently easy.
Uh-huh.
Next round,
Yeah.
Commanders versus Vikings. This is where the fall off for Jim Daniels comes. I have JJ McCarthy winning. 4 seed Rams versus
Yeah.
Eagles.
Uh-huh.
I have the Rams winning.
Fair. I can't argue with that. Okay, I have the number 2 seed Bucks playing the number 7 seed Cowboys, and I have the Dallas Cowboys upsetting
What the heck, bro?
the Bucks.
They can't ever win a playoff game, no matter what.
That's a fair point. I have the number 3 Eagles playing the number 6 Packers. Eagles own the pack. Knock on wood. And then number 4 seed Vikings over the number 5 seed Niners in a cakewalk. Mo, round 2, who you got?
Lions play the Vikings
Yeah.
for me.
Ooh.
I have the Lions winning just because JJ is a rookie.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it's tough to go to conference finals as a rookie.
Good point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then who's your other game?
And then I have the Bucks versus Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Rams come on top.
Nice.
And the conference finals is Lions versus Rams.
Okay. I have the Rams, the number 1 seed, over the number 7 seed Dallas Cowboys, and then I have the Vikings, the number 4 seed, over the number 3 seed Philadelphia Eagles. As much as it pains me to say that, my NFC championship is the Rams versus the Vikings, and yours is what?
Lions versus Rams.
Okay, who's winning?
I have the Lions.
Lions going to the Super Bowl. My NFC championship game, I have the Rams over the Vikings. Rams going to the Super Bowl.